I'm Peter Bailey, and I was a general practitioner in Cambourne between 2000 and 2012. And so I was privileged to take part in this wonderful experiment of bringing primary care to a new setting. Cambourne's a fascinating place. It's a frontier town. The developers described it as idyllic villages, and they promoted it with pictures of places that looked a bit like centre parks. But my experience of it was quite different. People came from all over, and I don't just mean all over Britain. People came from all over the world to live in Cambourne, and they brought with them their dreams and aspirations of new things. Some of them were looking to get away from old bad stuff, and some people were aspiring to new good things. And everybody had their story to tell, and their dreams to reach for, and their nightmares to leave behind. And what we tried to do in the health service was our part in building new community. And the heart of this for me was storytelling. As GPs, as medical students, as doctors, we're trained to take a history from people. But you don't find that much from people just by asking them yes or no questions. You find out a great deal more about people by inviting them to tell the story. And narrative was at the heart of everything we did. People arrived in Cambourne pent up with their stories to tell. And our experience was that giving people an opportunity to tell their story was in itself therapeutic. We engaged some professionals not normally found in general practice to help us do this. So for instance, somebody came from the Family Welfare Association with a background in counselling and social services. We had another person from the library service who became an information specialist, so that I could write a prescription for information instead of a prescription for an antibiotic, for instance. And we developed a consulting style that was about eliciting people's ideas and concerns and expectations through narrative, so that we were able to identify what resource was this person lacking that we might be able to contribute to. And from the very beginning, arts were incredibly important in this area. We had the opportunity to build a new building. We took the chance of combining our surgery with the library, so that this would then be a space where people would come and they would feel as if they owned the space. You didn't need any qualification to be there. It just was a public facility. Anybody can go to a library and sit there for as long as they like, and anybody can use the health service. And bringing these two things together, I felt, was a way of bringing this resource and storytelling into the same setting. And we were the victim of our own success, because people wanted more and more of it. The building itself was important, and I tried to make sure that the arts were reflected in the building, in the visual arts, in the way the building was put together to flow, and in sculpture. For instance, there's a glass sculpture inside the building that creates rainbows when the sun's out. And that sort of thing contributes to a sense of well-being. My hope for emerging new communities, such as the extra 2,500 houses that are coming to Cambourne and the new development in Northstowe, is that everybody involved, from the landowner selling the land in the first place, through the developer, through the council, through all the services that will come into those new communities, and of course the people themselves who populate it, will recognise that it's all about autonomy. What resources do you need to give people so that they can flourish? And that is the right sort of housing, the right physical environment, sufficient attention to detail, and the right people to listen to them, work with them and release their creativity. So we need association space, we need the arts, we need visual arts, performing arts, theatre of all sorts, music until it's coming out of your ears, and something to channel the optimism. And I hope that that can be achieved in this setting.